Today on the Gold Standard.
The central bankers of the world, the economists, they are warning that the U.S. could suffer a recession this year or whatever. They're raising the alarm about stocks and real estate, saying that they're aggressively valued and they could plummet. And all of this, Dave, is going to be just devastating to a economy and devastating to a market which is hanging by a thread, and it's just so leveraged. And one little thing here that goes wrong, and it's just going to cause an avalanche. And that's what I would urge people to understand, Dave. There's just so much out there that can go wrong, whether it be a war, whether it be tensions, whether it be energy, whether it be food, whether it be our money, the financial system in itself. There's so many things that can go wrong.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Dino. Welcome to the Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group, and his peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Hey, Ken, it's a pleasure again to join you this week.
Hey, Dave, we're here for another week to talk about how we can protect our money or what we have left, right?
Yeah, I think the key word there is what we have left, because our topic today is the teardown of the financial system. Ken, you are a watchdog on all things economic, and week after week, you tell us about the warning signs that indicate our economy is going to get even worse before it gets better. Why are you so passionate about this?
Well, I think we need to be realistic, Dave, about what is going on or what has gone on out there. The premise of what's behind this and why people should be diversifying right now into gold is because the financial system is that dangerous. It's only a matter of time before it's torn down. And that we're going to talk more about that today. And is it going to be torn down by natural market forces or this huge debt that we have because there's been so much unlimited money printing over the last 20, 30 years? And it's almost as if the debt is just looming over the economy and the markets like a big dark cloud. And it's just a matter of time before it starts to pour. And we don't want to be financially ruined when it starts to pour. And that is very close. It could be any time. So we need to prepare for that. Once the system's torn down, what's going to be on the other side? Is it going to be an apocalyptic side? Is it going to be a new beginning? We'll let our clients decide that for themselves. But we believe that every single American right now should think about pulling some money out of the banking system, pulling some money out of the stock or the bond market or the real estate market. We're not financial advisors. We're not giving financial advice. We're just being realistic about what's going on. And you can't fix a debt problem, Dave, by issuing more debt. You can't just spend unlimited amounts of money and expect there to be no consequence. Do people realize that when we have $50 trillion of debt, which probably is within the next 5 years, that the interest on that debt is over $2 trillion a year? Where's that going to come from? So it's a mess. It's eventually going to implode. There's over $2 quadrillion worth of derivatives right now that people really don't understand fully. There's tremendous leverage. We're in the midst of another bubble, and we've made it our life's work for people to not be financially ruined when this bubble bursts again. And we've seen other bubbles burst. And the answer always is to print more money and take out more debt. Well, that's not a fix. That puts us in a worse position financially than we were before the bubble burst in the first place. So typically when bubbles burst, stock markets fall over 50%. We have a long way to go. I think that this is the mother of all bubbles. The whole world is printing money. The whole world is drowning in debt. And I would tell you, Dave, that it makes absolutely no sense in the world to have so much risk and speculation at this point. You have to try and diversify and get some money out of the system, Get as much gold as you can because it'll be there when you need it. And as you know, Dave, traditionally holds its value even during a time of financial crisis.
Ken, just so people don't think that we are simply talking through our hat in a self serving manner, let's look at a headline that caught my attention. It's a warning from one of Wall Street's most successful investors. The headline says this: Warren Buffett delivers clear inflation warning, slams disgusting money manager behavior. What do you make of that?
Well, obviously, Dave, you're talking about a person that has a tremendous track record, probably the world's most successful investor. So let's be honest, okay? And everybody has their strong points. He's been able to recognize companies that have generated huge cash flow over the years and earnings, and he's made tremendous amounts of money, and that's fantastic. And there's a part of everybody's portfolio that typically is set aside for that kind of speculation if you understand it, and he certainly does. But he's saying that there are huge and entrenched fiscal deficits, and those have consequences. Well, yeah, they do. And notably, in a summary of the past year, Buffett issued what he said was an important warning, slamming disgusting behavior by money managers. It requires no talent, and I quote, to manipulate numbers, only a deep desire to deceive. There's a terminology called financial engineering, where companies, over the last 5 years, a lot of zombie companies, which are just shedding cash, I mean, billions a year, they're traded. A lot of those stocks are going to go to zero, just involved with manipulation of the numbers. And not to mention, how many clients do we get every day, Dave? And could we trust these numbers? These numbers are false. They're only saying these numbers because there was a midterm election. Or I mean, it's unfortunate that we can't trust our monetary system. It's a big lie, Dave. One of the biggest lies that we've ever been told is that our money is strong. And I would tell you that every single person listening can do something about that lie. And it's not going to end well. And we could probably see another 20, 30% of stocks fall, losses over the next few years. There's a long way to go. And when we talk about our money, it has to be something that we can trust. So it's absolutely imperative that people out there, if you have some savings, if you have some stock accounts, if you have some IRAs or old 401ks, the majority of people might have worked 20 or 30 years, Dave, saving up, try to do the right thing. It's all going to be torn down. And over the next few years, if you don't diversify, the majority of people, Dave, are going to lose it all. And I would tell you right now that people who own gold, for that day, for when the financial system collapses, for when our dollar is almost worth nothing, when it's toilet paper, those are the reasons why you own gold. And I would tell people right now that today it's more important than ever to make sure that you have a significant amount of your paper assets diversified in physical gold that you could hold. And obviously you'll be able to survive the upcoming financial crisis. So when they do tear down the system, no matter what happens, you're not going to lose all your money. And that's important, Dave.
A reminder here, you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and our topic today is the teardown of the financial system. Okay, Ken, this begins with mismanagement of our economy. You would think that with all that we have seen and experienced, especially since 2007, that our elected and appointed officials would know how to avoid past mistakes. But they just keep doing the same things, printing more money, raising interest rates, increasing the national debt. Ken, more than ever, gold and silver, as you indicate, provide a safe haven from financial catastrophe. And they have a solid historical record of doing so, don't they?
Well, yeah, Dave, and would appointed officials, learning from past mistakes make sense? Well, yeah, but we're talking about people here that can't even walk upstairs to an airplane. We're talking about people that are leaving classified documents in a garage, but they say that the garage is locked next to their Corvette. These are the people that are making decisions about our money. You're also talking about a situation and a market, Dave, that's addicted to debt. No matter who's been in office the last 20 or 30 years, they've all printed money. It's a system that is almost doomed to fail. It's a situation where the debt has become so enormous, it's only a matter of time, and it's inevitable that eventually it bursts. Now, if you look at gold, Dave, in 1971, President Nixon completely eliminated the gold standard, meaning that the dollar became total fiat, where it was no longer backed by anything except debt and a promise to pay back that debt. Well, folks, this debt is never going to be paid back. It's either going to implode or they're going to try to inflate it away. Either way, that's very bad news for your dollar. So what we need to do is we need to understand that the price of gold will reflect what the dollar loses in value. The price of gold has doubled in price, Dave, every 7 years on average since 1971. If you put $100,000 in a bank account 20 years ago and you kept it in cash, that $100,000 would probably be worth $40,000 or $50,000 today. It's lost significant buying power. If you put $100,000 into gold 20 years ago as money, I'm not talking about the best stock out there, people. I'm not talking about the best crypto. I'm not talking about the best piece of real estate. I'm talking about your money. If you put it into $100,000 worth of gold 20 years ago, you'd have over $400,000 worth of gold today as money. Wow. And when you compare that to cash, that's a huge difference. And when you talk about a bubble bursting, that makes that kind of situation and that type of move to diversify into gold, Dave, some of your money, that much more important.
Ken, that is a very, very powerful example. And we're going to continue our topic, the teardown of the financial system, a little bit later in the program. And we'll highlight several tangible ways to convert your wealth into the security of gold. But first, a reminder that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And coming up, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth. And that's coming up right after this.
Looking ahead, you don't want to get several months into the new year and say, I wish I would have after a stock market meltdown. Sebastian Gorka here. You can start the year by securing the value of your cash reserves and investments, guarding them against what many are predicting will be a brutal year for the value of the dollar and a stock market meltdown. The economic signs are worrisome. I recommend calling Midas Gold Group to safeguard your wealth with the stability of gold. Gold holds its value when economies fail. With stocks and bonds crashing over 20% in 2022, gold has held its value. Those who converted to gold with Midas Gold Group created a hedge against the ravages of inflation. Go to MidasGoldGroup.com or better yet, call 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold. Call right now, 855-322-GOLD, or go to MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is the teardown of the financial system. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you can come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, it's time for our precious metal spotlight of the week, and today we have what I would characterize as one of the glamour gold coins on the world stage, and that is the Gold Vienna Philharmonic. What do you think, Ken?
Nice coin, Dave, and it's been actually getting a lot of attention lately. We've received a lot of calls recently about the Gold Philharmonic. This bullion coin, Dave, was probably the most popular gold coin in the 90s, especially in Europe, is still among the world's best sellers. The Philharmonic also comes in silver, and it also comes in platinum, but the Gold Philharmonic, and we do have some, and we do have the ability to get as many as we'd like. It's a very different, tremendous coin, Dave.
It is quite a work of art, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Dave. Very different looking than a typical coin. More wafer-like, meaning like thinner and a bigger diameter than some of the other coins. But it does contain a whole ounce of pure 24 karat gold. It's one of the rare and truly classic offerings, Dave, for a bullion coin that will simply never go out of style. And remember, folks, a bullion coin means that it's a government coin. The price is based on the weight and the purity of the gold itself. And in this case, this is a pure gold coin. The coin's design features, Dave, on the obverse or the head side is a depiction of the iconic pipe organ from a concert hall in Vienna, which is the home to the famous Vienna Philharmonic. The reverse side, Dave, sports a kind of bouquet arrangement of classical instruments. There are 4 violins, a cello, bassoon, and a harp. They all are honed to a crisp and satisfying detail. It's a really different, really nice coin compared to some of the other gold coins, Dave. And once again, is this a product that you could use for wealth preservation, to diversify, and to hold in your own possession? And the answer is definitely yes, Dave.
Ken, this coin has what I think is an interesting bit of history about it. I read that this very beautiful gold coin almost was never printed.
Yeah, that's true, Dave. The coin could have easily never been struck in the first place. It took a change in Austrian law, which had newly legalized the circulation of pure gold coins on the open market, to lead to the minting of this now, as it turns out, historical coin.
I got to tell you, I love having this coin in my collection of physical gold, but it is also eligible for a gold IRA account, right?
It is, Dave. If you have some old 401k accounts, or maybe you had a previous retirement account with an employer that you no longer work with, or maybe you've been there for a tremendous amount of time and you're vested, typically past 59 and a half, the company or the plan will probably allow you to do a rollover. So you could roll over some of those funds tax-free into the gold Philharmonic, and you could have a gold IRA. If you have a gold existing IRA, Dave, like a traditional or a SEP or a Roth, you can do a tax-free transfer into a gold IRA. And one of the products that you can consider is the gold Philharmonic. Also, of course, if you have some liquid funds at a bank or a non-qualified account, maybe just a regular stock account, you want to stop the bleeding. You understand that we're headed towards very tough economic times, and that's going to lead to a very bumpy market. You don't want to lose all your money, or at least a good portion of it. You can take some of those liquid funds, or some people who maybe might have a cash business. If you have the ability to be near Phoenix or near Thousand Oaks, California, maybe you might want to deploy some of that cash into some products. And the gold 1 ounce Philharmonic, which is the most popular, Dave, it does come in smaller sizes, but the 1 ounce Philharmonic, the most common, would be something, Dave, that I would urge every single person listening out there, besides gold, but this particular product, to strongly consider.
Yeah, it is a very spectacular coin. Thank you, Ken. Coming up in a moment, we will continue our topic of the teardown of the financial system with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And that's coming up right after this.
At the start of 2022, you could invest in almost anything and make money. The stock market was still growing, real estate was high, and cryptocurrency was the rage. What a difference a year makes. 2023 is going to be a year of economic upheaval, according to many economists. Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden regime is pressing ahead with its leftist agenda, ignoring the growing signs of a recession. But many economists are warning of massive layoffs and huge stock market losses, which is why I recommend calling Midas Gold Group to safeguard your wealth with the stability of gold while you can. Gold holds its value when economies fail, guarding against the ravages of inflation and the ruin of a recession. Talk with veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. Go to MidasGoldGroup.com, or better yet, call 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold. Call now, 855-322-GOLD.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is the teardown of the financial system. And as we have been saying, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, you can actually come and visit our local office to meet with us in person, even see some of the products, some of the gold coins and bars that we talk about on the air here. For the address and directions, log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, just call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. by the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's return to our topic. Ken, so far today, we have talked about a warning from Warren Buffett and the propensity of our elected officials to perpetuate disastrous policies that have proven to be harmful to the value of the American dollar and have robbed investors of 20 to 30% or more of their investment savings on several occasions. That is disastrous to people who are retired and counting on their investments for financial survival. Now, let's look at more headlines from major news sources that signal the teardown of the financial system. First, here's one that states the Fed's own economists are ringing the recession alarm and warning stocks and real estate prices could tumble. The Fed's own economists, Ken.
Yeah, Dave, kind of like they're protecting themselves, just saying, see, we told you, and we told you were going to lose all your money, but, but this should get everybody's attention, right, Dave? They should sit up and listen very closely. The central bankers of the world, the economists, they are warning that the U.S. could suffer a recession this year or whatever, They're raising the alarm about stocks and real estate and, saying that they're aggressively valued and they could plummet. Chairman Powell said that there's going to be a lot of pain about 6 months ago. They're telling us that they have really no control of inflation. And all of this, Dave, is going to be just devastating to a economy and devastating to a market, which is hanging by a thread. And it's just so leveraged. And one little thing here that goes wrong and it's just going to cause an avalanche. And that's what I would urge people to understand, Dave. There's just so much out there that can go wrong, whether it be a war, whether it be tensions, whether it be energy, whether it be food, whether it be our money, the financial system in itself. There's so many things that can go wrong. And what could go right? The stock market goes up a little. That's it. So when you have a situation where so much could go wrong and very little can go right with our money, that means that more safety and more defense is in order, which in turn, people, means more diversification, more gold, more money out of the paper system. I don't know how much clearer we can be, Dave. The market is that dangerous. And even the central bankers like the Fed, they're telling us that. So the question is who's listening?
Our topic today has been the teardown of the financial system. So, Ken, how would you summarize the warning that you have given today?
Wealth preservation through physical precious metals, mainly gold, also some silver. Get some money out of the banking system. This is not going to end well. We're drowning in debt. Central bankers of the world have thoroughly been reckless when it comes to money printing. They've thoroughly overstepped their boundaries and their charters. Not going to end well. It's a big bubble. Eventually, it's inevitably going to be popped. And the question is you don't want to be financially ruined and lose all your money when that happens. That means you need to have enough money diversified into gold, Dave. So I would keep it that simple. Don't need to make it any more involved than that.
And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be, as Ken has said, not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD, by the numbers 855-322-4653. Or visit them in person in either Phoenix or the LA area. You can find the address at MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes, with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. Hey, Ken, thank you for your time again today.
My pleasure, Dave. Talk to you again soon.
I look forward to it. I'm Dave Dino. Come and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.